call on the chair of the Africa Subcommittee of this committee, Ms. Bass.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I appreciate the ranking member in saying that people are beginning to wake up because, you know, whenever I hear about the Chinese or the Russians in Africa, you know, my thought is, where are we? And, you know, it's time for us to step up. And so I appreciate the Assistant Secretary saying that you're going to come full force. I would love to hear the details as to what that means. And then, of course, what concerns me about it is that, and I know you are genuine because I know you, but then, you know, we have a 66% decrease in the budget. So I don't know how you go full force and have your budget, you know, decrease so much. So perhaps you can clue me in on the secret as to how you're going to do that. And I appreciate Ms. Linehan talking about addressing the root causes because I am concerned about our imbalance in that we put a lot more emphasis. Obviously, we put emphasis on security, but we all recognize that if you address the root causes, you're addressing, you know, the security situation as well. So perhaps, if you wouldn't mind, maybe Assistant Secretary, you could give me some top lines as to how it'll be full force. I also want to ask about Cameroon and Ethiopia, so I don't want to run out of time. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman. Very quickly, I've worked for 7 different administrations, different levels of budgets. I've had some fat ones and thin ones. All I can promise you that I will do the absolute best I can with whatever funds are made available. On China specifically, we're having individual embassy and country strategies. We are putting deal teams together from the largest embassies to the smallest ones to do both sides of this. Support U.S. businesses, work with the countries to improve their business environment, which will attract U.S. businesses. Because all my discussions with U.S. business, they said, we want to go to Africa, but this is what's stopping us. So again, that's a full force press. And also to make clear to people, you know, every time China builds a 50,000 seat stadium, they get full page coverage, front page. What is not said that there wouldn't be people to be in that stadium if not for U.S. government's billions of dollars saving millions of Africans from HIV/AIDS. So we need to make sure that both sides of the story is told on this. And I'll stop there for your
Sure, and I know with my ranking member over there that we'd love for you to come to the subcommittee and perhaps we could drill down because we want to figure out how to be supportive. Ms. Linehan, would you like to respond to what you were saying in terms of addressing root causes, but yet our focus is on security?
Thank you, Representative. I do believe that we need to address root causes. I'd also note from the Department of Defense.
Ms. Linehan, can you pull the microphone just a little closer to your mouth?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that we need to address root causes in Africa, which my colleagues here from USAID and State do a heroic job of doing so, along with the many people out in the fields and within the department in order to do so. Additionally, at the additionally at the Department of Defense, we work on institution building, which I also believe addresses some of the root causes in order to create those critical foundations and promote governance across the Sahel. Of note, there's the Security Governance Initiative, which is focused on addressing a cross-cutting security sector improvements to develop governance and build institutions. 2 countries, Mali and Niger, are part of that.
Thank you, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know I'm going to run out of time. So I wanted to ask, in terms of the crisis in Cameroon, in the Anglophone region, we know it's been worsening over the last 18 months. And so I wanted to know what we are doing, along with our diplomatic partners, to encourage negotiation.
Thank you very much. Very quickly, Cameroon continues to be one of 3 countries that grieves my heart every night. I sat with President Biya a couple of months.
What are the other 2?
Somalia and South Sudan.
Oh, okay.
I sat with President Biya a couple of months ago in Cameroon, and he told me, you know, yes, we're interested in dialogue, but the government has done nothing to show for it. They've set up some Potemkin institutions which have not done anything. We continue to press forward with our allies. We had an Arias at the United Nations.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to run out. This is just terrible, 5 minutes. But I got to get to Ethiopia.
Okay.
So, you know, right.
Best news on Ethiopia. Yesterday, if you had been at the State Department for our partnership forum on Ethiopia and seen the hundreds and hundreds of peoples there from the diaspora, from U.S. business, and from the Ethiopian government, your heart would have melted. I kicked it off and I was just delighted because I knew we would get to this point. Going forward, we are finding ways to support Ethiopia, but what they need now is jobs, 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 and that will be brought by the business investment. So we will do our best to promote that. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you.